Well folks, it's been some time since I last updated you on my Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. To be relatively exact, it's been 12 months or 1 year since we actually upgraded from the Tesla Model 3 to my Berlin Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. And in that time we've had the long rumoured refreshed Tesla Model Y touted as being just around the corner when I initially bought this car. Reality is that deliveries of that much rumoured refreshed Tesla Model Y, they've literally just begun for us Brits. But with a few brand new legacy Tesla Model Ys actually dotted around still, and a whole host of used Tesla Model Ys in the market, after 1 year of ownership, are there any nagging issues to be aware of? Have I noticed a difference in range and efficiency from the summer to the winter? What is the battery degradation looking like? And finally, is it worth considering a Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive like mine, even today, to other drivers, whether that be new to EVs or in general, just even Tesla owners today? Is the legacy Tesla Model Y a good value buy? Therefore, this is my new Tesla Model Y review after owning it for 1 whole year. So if this video sounds like an interesting insight, please do buckle up, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and finally do hit the notification bell. Right, let's get deep into the reasons why. First up, let's talk about battery degradation, as that's going to be a super hot topic on EVs and Tesla Model Ys, particularly of age, and more in the cold actually. But I don't always like to keep people waiting onto the very last moment for actually some of the best bits of the video. So here's that golden nugget number 1 about battery degradation that you want to hear. So my 2024 Tesla Model Y here has the Cattle LFP battery, and that's actually similar to the new refreshed Tesla Model Ys today. Now, this Tesla Model Y battery is not going to be the supercharging unicorn Model Y rear-wheel drive from Tesla's Giga Berlin factory. They actually built 2 different Model Y rear-wheel drives at the time. The difference being that there was a more common Cattle battery that I actually have, and there was also a Unicorn BYD Blade battery variant that had a super impressive supercharging experience. With that said, based on my experience with my Model Y, any and all of the LFP powered Teslas, it's literally insane when it actually comes to this one thing. But unfortunately, that's actually does come with a little Achilles heel, but I'll come to that in just a moment. Now, that one significant thing about having an LFP battery powered Model Y is that the battery really does not want to degrade, to the point where having 100% state of charge is the same 244 miles on the computer as when I first picked this beauty up. Now, that's right next to no degradation after 1 year. Well, it is no degradation after 1 year, but admittedly it does hit 243 sometimes, and then it hits 244 again. So after 1 year, regardless, that's incredible to me. Now, I knew that strength before buying the car, but actually hearing the degradation fact and then actually experiencing it, reality really does hit you differently for sure. And lucky for you, this battery chemistry can actually be found in both the new Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive and the new Model Y rear-wheel drive today. But these battery packs are literally no joke when it comes to durability, and they are really attractive selling points for first-time EV owners when it comes to practicality too. So it's not just about durability, but practicality. When charging an EV, you are advised to actually charge to 80 to 90% for daily driving, and only 100% if you're doing road trips. But you don't get that with LFP powered EVs like my rear-wheel drive Tesla Model Y, as charging to 100% weekly is what the battery actually likes. So literally offers you a super easy plug and play experience. It's not complicated, so it's going to be great for first time owners. Probably some of you senior folks out there, which I'm not actually going to put an age bracket on. But if you're also after a used Tesla Model Y, do consider an LFP powered Tesla Model Y if you're worried about degradation. In terms of transparency on the negatives, or how I prefer to put it, the Achilles heel of the car and the battery pack. And I'll come on to the real world range next in both summer and winter conditions. The Achilles heel of the LFP definitely lies in the battery pack temperature. Now, summer and autumn, spring, you won't notice it as much, but in plain speaking terms, the battery pack works best in mild to hot conditions. And it's not like this car doesn't work in winter. There's nothing like that. It's just that you need to ensure that you actually warm up the car via the phone app or schedule it to be warmed up each morning to get the best out of the battery pack in winter. And if you don't, you can still just jump into your Tesla Model Y in the winter and just drive it regardless. But do consider that your regenerative braking will be non-existent, which to be honest does happen with other battery types too. It's just that the warm up in the colder conditions, it does just take that little bit longer if you have an LFP battery, but that preheating that you will need to do, it also warms the cabin at the same time. So it's literally a natural request to do in winter. So preparation isn't really going to be out your way at all. But I did just want to highlight that to you, that warm up can be a little bit longer. So just be that one step ahead when it comes to wintry conditions really. Touching on efficiency and range, how have I found it? Well, I picked the car up actually in June 2024 and I ran it through summer, autumn, spring and winter. During the summer and autumn, I got around 240 watt hours per mile on average. In the summer, city driving, getting 5 miles per kilowatt hour was actually achievable which is pretty wild for the size of the car. Driving longer distances in the summer, I got 235 to 240 watt hour miles in a road trip with a weekend of luggage and pretty much the whole family in the car, and you really can't get more real world representative than that. And I'll pop a link with the video on that actual road trip, so I actually have the receipts on that trip. But the car in these conditions, they work incredibly well. In winter, when the regenerative braking does take some time to actually get near to full capacity, and with extra energy being used to actually heat the car up more as a result, this does admittedly take a toll on the efficiency as expected, but that lifetime efficiency has notched up to 260 per watt hour miles overall. Therefore, averaging say 250-ish watt hour miles with a 60 kilowatt hour pack, getting that quoted 244 miles that the car offers is pretty achievable across the year. And with just city driving in warmer to mild conditions, I actually think you could actually get more than that. So how have I found it? To be honest, surplus to requirements. Even for a one car household that does very little supercharging, I've got the rear wheel drive Tesla Model Y, knowing that home charging would be my friend. But when we need to supercharge, the actual charging curve on this is no slouch either. And if you want to know how much I saved against a petrol equivalent, that number is standing at just below £2,000. So if you're switching from a petrol to an EV, you could save yourself a lot of money over the course of a year just in fuel costs alone. Moving on to what I've enjoyed most about my upgrade from the Tesla Model 3 to the Model Y. Well, what have I really enjoyed most about this vehicle, and what is the most underrated feature about this Tesla Model Y? So firstly, there was a few points why we actually moved from the Tesla Model Y if you're interested, and I'll pop a video on that if you want more information on it. But in a nutshell, as the family and the cargo is actually getting bigger, for practicality, it just made sense. I mean, there's more cabin space, front and rear, and there's the hatchback boot. It really just made perfect sense. Therefore, from a practicality perspective, I think it's well documented that the vehicle does achieve them goals. But what have I really enjoyed most about the new Tesla Model Y? Well, the seats are incredibly comfy, and that's front and rear too. But I actually really like how much higher you do sit at the steering wheel, particularly over the Model 3. The visibility is simply a great upgrade. There's also hardware upgrades, and particularly I'm just talking about the AMD MCU, and that meant I've actually not missed out on any of the latest software updates, which I was starting to on my old Model 3. Now, noting this is the same actual MCU that's also found in the new refreshed Tesla Model Y, and combine that with the hardware 4/AI 4 cameras, it means that the car itself really has been future-proof somewhat, particularly with FSD capabilities. Even without FSD enabled, the camera clarity is noticeably sharper when reversing, and talking about parking, I actually haven't missed parking sensors on the Tesla Model 3, and I've actually found that my outing with Tesla's parking assist with just cameras has been incredibly accurate. The parking bay visuals have also been a cool little addition over the sensors. It's a nothing burger. It's the same but just different. But if I was to say one upgrade that was underrated, or one that really I did not really truly anticipate, that has to be the sound insulation and the premium sound system. Now, we have acoustic glass all around in this Tesla Model Y, and we have Tesla's full premium sound too. And it's a shame that the new rear-wheel drive Tesla Model Y doesn't come with the same sound system, as it is pretty incredible, and I'm no audiophile by any means. So before we round up my conclusion, and if I would recommend buying a Tesla Model Y today, how much is the Tesla Model Y going to set you back, and how much does it typically cost to charge? Well, charging from home will get you the best rates, so I'm getting just under 2p a mile here in the UK. Therefore, in a rear-wheel drive Tesla Model Y, a full battery cost can cost you as little as £4.20 for reference, and that will see you cover around 240 miles, as I mentioned earlier, and potentially even more if you're doing city driving, as I mentioned too. But if you're flirting with the idea of buying a new Tesla or even a used one, is it a good time to buy? Well, I've made multiple videos about the new Tesla Model Ys like mine, and it will get increasingly harder to buy, particularly new ones now. Now, the refreshed Tesla Model Y is taking over. There's a good chance by the time you're watching this video that you'll pretty much be only able to buy a used Tesla Model Y. And if you are considering any Tesla, always use a referral link like mine in the video description, because there's a chance to get some extra money or even supercharge your miles. And that's even on inventory models too. But in a nutshell, as I've said before, I've got hardware for FSD hardware, the same entertainment computer and the premium sound package in this legacy Model Y. And 2/3 of these can be found in the refreshed Tesla Model Y. So if the sums are not working for you, it could be worth considering a legacy Tesla Model Y potentially. Particularly the 2024 variant, which would be the last of the legacy variant that you could buy. So to conclude, in a nutshell, the 2025 Tesla Model Y is one hell of a car, and this made in Berlin beauty was refined from its 2020 variants through many different build improvements. This meant the version that I own today packs all the family practicality that I was after, with a finance deal that was hard to resist. The battery pack is a workhorse. You won't have to worry about degradation in a LFP Tesla Model Y. Even 1 year on, which is historically the worst time for degradation actually, which did come as quite a surprise to say the least. So having seen literally near to zero battery degradation has been quite a surprise. For clarity, the refreshed Tesla Model Y is a beast and it is going to be the best car, but really the technology side of this car is pretty much on par with that upgrade. And I know that it does have the better suspension, the rear passenger screen, better sound isolation, etc. You know, there is quite a few all-round hardware improvements that I won't have, and for me, I'm fine with that, because this 2024 Berlin build has been incredibly good to me and my family. It doesn't feel or behave dated in any way. It's holding up a good fight, and with software updates, I will continue to get that new car feeling from time to time, as Tesla owners do. So it's not quite as good as the refreshed Tesla Model Y, but equally, I'm not going crazy for that new refresh. So there we have it. What do you guys think to the Berlin Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive today? Would you buy one, or would you prefer to just get the refresh? If you haven't done so already, please check out the links in the video description. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to share the video with any friends or family that may find the video beneficial. You folks have been great, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.